It began on a quiet morning. The sun rose over Hallow Creek, a small town that had once been alive with laughter, chatter, and the hum of daily life. But today, something felt off. Birds avoided the streets, dogs whimpered at empty corners, and the air carried an unsettling stillness. When residents woke, they discovered the first chilling sign. The town square was empty. Shops were open, doors unlocked, but no one was there. Not a single person, not a sound, not a trace of life. James Carter, a local mechanic, was the first to notice it. His garage doors were open, engines idling, tools scattered across the floor, just as he'd left them the night before. But there was no one to greet him. No cars moved along Main Street. The familiar scent of baking bread from Mary's diner lingered in the air, yet no waitress arrived to serve him. Panic prickled his skin. Something unnatural had taken hold. Neighbors peeked from their homes. Windows were cracked open, curtains swaying lightly. Personal items, coats, cups of coffee, even a half-read newspaper, remained in place. It was as though time itself had frozen. The town hadn't simply emptied, it had vanished in a way that defied logic. Phones didn't work, radios emitted static, even cell towers seemed to avoid the area. James's stomach tightened. The town was alive in appearance, but its souls were gone. As he wandered through the streets, James noticed faint movements in the corner of his eyes, shadows flitting between the buildings. But whenever he looked directly, there was nothing there. He passed the church, the bakery, the school, all intact, all empty, all silent. The wind carried faint whispers that seemed to come from nowhere, uttering fragments of conversation. "Don't leave. Follow me. They're coming." His heart pounded. This wasn't abandonment. This was something deliberate, sentient, and terrifying. By midday, he met Sarah, a local teacher, emerging from the mist that had settled over the town. Her face was pale, eyes wide with shock. "Where is everyone?" she asked, voice trembling. Together they explored further. Every door they opened, every street they turned, revealed the same unsettling pattern. Personal belongings left mid-use, furniture overturned as if people had disappeared mid-action, and no footprints to explain movement. Even the river flowing through town seemed darker, heavier, as though it carried a secret beneath its surface. They soon realized the phenomenon wasn't confined to a single block. The entire town was affected. Shops, homes, the cemetery, the park, all frozen in eerie stillness. The schoolyard swings creaked slightly, moved by some unseen force, and the church bell rang once, without a hand to pull the rope. Sarah tried to rationalize it. Wind, prank, illusion. But James shook his head. They had stumbled into something beyond natural explanation, a presence that made the town itself feel alive yet hostile. As night fell, the darkness brought new horrors. Mist thickened between the buildings, curling along streets like living fingers. Shadows moved independently, detaching from their sources. Lights flickered, and the faint whispering grew louder. "Leave. Join us. Stay forever." James and Sarah huddled in the diner, trying to maintain composure. But even inside, the air felt heavy. The town seemed to breathe around them, reacting to every movement, every thought, every fear. Their cameras captured nothing but static, yet the feeling of being watched was undeniable. They decided to search for clues. Entering the town hall, they found records, ledgers, and files, all intact, all dated midday today, but with no signatures, no employees, no indication of human activity. Even the clocks on the wall ticked irregularly, sometimes stopping for long moments, sometimes racing forward. Sarah realized with a shiver, the town had not only emptied, it had been pulled partially out of time, frozen between moments. Suddenly, a low hum filled the air, vibrating the ground beneath them. The shadows began coalescing into shapes, figures of former townspeople, translucent, drifting, frozen mid-step. Their eyes glowed faintly, mouths open in silent screams. James and Sarah backed away, heart pounding. These were echoes of life, trapped, replaying forever. The whispers turned into words, clearer now. "Join us. Never leave. The town takes all." The realization struck them. This was not a natural haunting. This was a force consuming the living, preserving them in eternal limbo. In the final moments of the night, the mist parted slightly, revealing the outskirts of the town. Beyond the forest, lights from other settlements flickered normally. Yet James and Sarah knew they were trapped. The town itself pulsed like a living organism, refusing to let them go. As the first rays of dawn touched the rooftops, shadows shifted toward them, whispering promises and threats in the same breath. One final whisper echoed as the mist swallowed the street. "You will remember. Forever." And the town waited, silent yet alive, for the next souls to wander into its grasp. As night fell over Hallow Creek, James and Sarah could feel the town's presence intensifying. The mist thickened, curling like serpents around abandoned vehicles and shop fronts. Every street seemed alive, responding to their movement. Shadows detached from the trees and buildings, stretching unnaturally toward them. A faint humming filled the air, almost inaudible, vibrating through their bones. They realized that the town itself was watching them, aware of their every step, and that leaving would not be easy. Earlier that day, they had tried to call for help, but their phones emitted nothing but static. Radios, televisions, even nearby car alarms failed to work. The town seemed to exist outside normal reality, isolated from the rest of the world. Every attempt to document the strange events, cameras, recorders, even sketches, resulted in blank images, blank tape, or erased notes. Whatever had taken the town wanted to remain hidden, yet somehow it still wanted witnesses. While walking through the main street, faint outlines of the missing townspeople began to appear. They were not fully visible, their forms translucent, flickering in and out like a broken hologram. Some were mid-step, others frozen in place. Faces showed panic, fear, and confusion, replaying moments of a life interrupted. James and Sarah felt an overwhelming sadness, as if they were staring at trapped souls, unable to escape the town that held them. The whispers became louder, more intelligible, almost a conversation. "Don't leave. Come closer. Join us." Each word was a pull, tugging at their consciousness. The mist shifted around them, forming shapes too fleeting to define. Hints of faces, hands reaching out, eyes that glimmered for a fraction of a second. They realized the town was not just haunted, it communicated, beckoning them deeper into its heart, daring them to uncover its secrets. In the town square, they noticed an old well. The surface of the water reflected the faint spectral glow of the figures around them, but beneath it, something moved. A dark shape, shifting and writhing, impossible to identify. Every instinct screamed at them to turn away, yet curiosity forced them closer. As they peered into the well, whispers grew into urgent cries. "Look! See!" Suddenly, a shadow surged from the depths, brushing the edge of the well, and James stumbled back in terror. They pressed on toward the church at the edge of the square. The building was intact, doors open, candles burning, though no one was inside. Inside, they found remnants of a congregation frozen in time. Hymnals open, coats draped over pews, cups half filled with coffee. The shadows of people lingered, silent and watching. A low vibration resonated through the floorboards, as if the building itself was alive with the trapped memories of its vanished congregation. Moving into the cemetery, the air grew colder. Fog settled over the headstones, and faint footsteps echoed along the gravel paths. Ghostly figures hovered over graves, some kneeling, others pacing, endlessly replaying gestures of mourning or despair. James and Sarah realized the town was more than a haunted location. It was a living memory of tragedy, a place where the sorrow of the vanished shaped reality. Even the wind seemed to carry whispers of grief, threading the landscape together into one continuous, chilling presence. As they approached the outskirts, a low humming intensified into a resonant sound that seemed to vibrate the air itself. Shapes became more distinct, the figures now fully visible, yet unnaturally silent, eyes glowing faintly. Shadows converged, surrounding them, forcing them to stand still. The town's pull was strongest here, a gravitational force of memory, pain, and energy that threatened to consume their senses. Every step they tried to take felt resisted, every breath heavy, as if the very air had weight. In the darkest corner of the town, they found a small house that seemed older than the rest. Inside, a single rocking chair moved slowly back and forth. Photos lined the walls, each depicting townspeople, frozen mid-action. Some images flickered like faulty film, showing faces twisted in fear. The whispers became distinct. Stay. Join us. Never leave. They understood now. The town consumed its inhabitants, preserving them in spectral stasis, a living memorial of vanished lives, and it wanted them to become part of it. Finally, as dawn broke, James and Sarah made it to the town's edge. Mist lifted slightly, revealing the surrounding landscape. Beyond the forest, normal towns could be seen, untouched and alive. But Hallow Creek remained suspended in its spectral state, silent yet pulsing with unseen energy. As they turned to leave, a final whisper floated on the wind. Remember, or become, part of us. They shivered, knowing they had survived, yet the town would never truly release its grip. Hallow Creek waited, silent, watching, and hungry for its next visitors.